I know a lot of people can't understand this. A lot of people are just as convinced of Israel's power and cunning as the Zionists are. They have awe for Israel between their eyes, and it distorts their perception, the same way it distorts the perception of the Zionists themselves. But Israel is and always has been a failure. And it is and always has been a fake country, a fake power, a fake success. They have always lied about their competence, lied about their capabilities, lied about their skills, lied about their courage, and lied about everything else. They've only existed because they had a function for the American power structure. But now, even the American power structure itself is rapidly losing its own functionality within the context of a national private sector power and the OCGFC. So the Zionists are literally ordering from a menu of a restaurant that went out of business. You know, they might be planning to annex northern Gaza, parts of Lebanon, what have you, and they might be even doing that just for the purpose of trying to improve their eventual negotiating position. But when the dust settles, they're going to have a head-on collision with much richer, much more powerful forces that will have similar advantage over them as they are used to having over the Palestinians with regards to dictating the terms of the negotiations. See, they're used to trying to create facts on the ground. In other words, they seize land, which then becomes a matter of fact, and the U.S. treats it as valid. Well, this isn't going to be the case when the next Palestinian state negotiations take place. Because this isn't going to be America and Israel on one side of the table and the Palestinians alone on the other side of the table. It's going to be Israel on one side and BRICS and the global consensus on the other side. And they're going to be wholly unimpressed with Israel's demands. Look, America's share of the global GDP has drastically declined. I don't know if you've been keeping up. The world is not the way you think it is. America's share of global GDP was 40% in 1960. In 1960, America's economy represented 40% of all global GDP. Almost half. Well, today, in 2024, it's 15%. The BRICS nations have a greater share in global GDP than the G7. You know, America spends more money on military funding than any other country, but a huge percentage of that is due to overcharging, fraud, wasteful spending, or just money that's unaccounted for. Their spending does not equate to military power. If you subtract from their military budget all of the money that is literally just fraudulent, then America spends less on its military than China does, not to mention China's standing army and auxiliary forces are roughly double that of America's. You know, despite the hype, America's global military presence is half today what it was 20 years ago. Even their soft power is nothing like what it used to be. De-dollarization is rapidly increasing. Foreign purchases of U.S. Treasury securities have dropped by around 20%, which means people are losing confidence around the world in the American economy. Even fewer and fewer foreign students are choosing to study in the United States. Their cultural influence has dropped below Japan. Even American brands are finding it harder and harder to penetrate global South markets. Their reputation and their prestige has absolutely tanked. By any metric that you can think of, the United States is declining as a world power. Their relative influence is in retreat, and they're becoming increasingly isolated. Okay, all of this has serious ramifications for Israel. And I think that they have either not fully comprehended that, or else they are in denial about it. But no matter how you look at it, Zionism has no future. And in fact, everything that they're doing to try to secure their future is actually only ensuring their demise.